Hello YouTube, this video is for educational purposes and this is a reaction by me, and this video does not have an intention of bullying or harassing anybody. This is to create awareness over what is going on all over the world. Please do not take my video down. Please do not censor my video. Please do not limit my video, right? So you all remember that I talked about what is going on in Missouri, right? About the Marcellus Williams. So there is a video where Charlie Kirk talked about Black people being more of prisoners, right? So people decided to use this opportunity to draw his attention or draw people's attention to what is happening to Marcellus Williams, right? So there is a statement there is a statement issued by Missouri Supreme Court, and it happened that they have denied requests to halt Marcellus Williams' execution, right? And then this Missouri Supreme Court ordered the state to carry out Marcellus' execution, right? And this is being scheduled for Tuesday. And I am going to leave you to read and see the video, but peradventure, if anything happens, I probably will leave the link in the comment section so you always see. Please do not judge my voice, do not judge my English or anything at this point in time. I am very, very overwhelmed with emotions. I really do not know what to say, but we are still encouraging people to call the governor, because we really need answer, because the DNA can be saying otherwise and the governor wants to do otherwise. I just don't get it. Let's get into this video.
This is an update in connection with Marcellus Williams' death row case. Approximately 50 minutes ago, the Missouri Supreme Court ordered the state to carry out the execution of Marcellus Williams on tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And Governor Mike Parsons, who could have stopped this execution, confirmed in a news release Monday afternoon that the state will carry out Williams' execution by lethal injection, and he will not be granting clemency. The Missouri Supreme Court denied the stay of execution in spite of the fact that the DNA evidence did not point to Marcell Williams. They denied sending this case back to the lower courts so it could be examined that if the trial prosecutor excluded Black jurors based on race. This is the website for the governor of Missouri, Michael L. Parsons. And you can find telephone numbers on there and email contact information, and I'm asking you to flood all of them. And in full transparency, I'm going to tell you, I do not believe the governor is going to change his mind, no matter how many of us call and grant Marcellus Williams clemency. But I want you to let them know that we bear witness to what they did to Marcellus Williams, and we will not forget.
Black Americans are about 13 to 14% of the population.
Yes,
about half of all prisoners are Black.
Exactly.
So Blacks commit more crimes than whites do.
Just stop, man. Stop calling them Blacks. So exhausted with this very specific European American. Is it just me, or does Charlie Kirk only debate with people who don't have their prefrontal cortex fully developed yet? And I don't mean that as a slight to the people he debates. I mean the fact that they're under like 26. I've never seen him debate a fully grown adult. Has he ever talked to an adult? Also, Lil Face, you only say Blacks. I feel like I've never heard you say African American. Your focus is constantly on this one statistic between Black and white, but I've never in my life heard you discuss white-collar crimes and how 60 to 80% of that is Caucasian crime. Don't worry, I looked up the Black version of it, and it's 10 to 15%. But I guess we're just going to skip over this. We're also going to skip over the fact that the system is designed for people to be incarcerated at significantly higher rates. Hunted, if you will. I'm not saying white people don't commit crime. I'm not saying Black people don't commit crime. But if the police are going out and looking very specifically for a suspect that looks a certain way, what's the phrase? It's like if you go looking for something, you'll find it. You better stop acting this way, Charlie, before we call Parker again.
Black Americans are about 13 to 14% of the population.
Yes,
about half of all prisoners are Black.
Exactly.
So Blacks commit more.
So how much is the population of white people? No, tell me.
Because I don't know where you get your statistics. You know why there's a lot of black people in prison? Because y'all keep on making the rules when it comes to prison. Okay? Just for example, there's an innocent man, better known as Marcellus Williams, I just finished reading you his whole entire case. And this case doesn't make no damn sense whatsoever. Y'all are the murderers and the perpetrators. Y'all, some of y'all, not all. Some of y'all know good and well that, because if you look at the statistics of serial killers, okay, you had Ted Bundy, Charles Manson, okay, you had Jeffrey Dahmer, okay, you had multiple, and half of y'all are serial killers, okay. You can't keep your hands to yourselves, all right. We go to jail because of petty crime, of situations that makes no sense. Speeding tickets. If you have it over $1,000, you end up going to jail for misdemeanor. Jaywalking, okay? Or you was at the wrong place at the wrong time and they so happen to botch the murder towards you and the DNA proves that you didn't touch it. You didn't even look at that person. You been spit on them. Okay? We, multiple crimes. We get pulled over by police officers. Okay, because they claim that there's a tail, and the next minute we get caught and get arrested because we ask them, what are we being detained for? Why you pull me over? Okay? If you look at the statistics of you saying that men being in jail and because we have felony records, okay, how many statistics of us being 6 feet under the hands of a police brutality, of multiple gun shooting and stuff like that by a police? You guys made the prison system to be created for us because ever since after the slavery, you guys wanted to put us in another buck plantation. Okay? If you look at the statistics in Texas, Alabama, Mississippi, Missouri, Louisiana, how they have the toughest laws for men to not even make an appeal. The Supreme Court overturned for people to even get out of jail based on evidence. If you look at the statistics of how many men who are incarcerated and innocent, it's over 200,000. 200,000 from the years of 1973 all the way to 2000 of the century, of the 21st century. Yes. Every day is like a revolving door. And then once they are set free, they end up going crazy and they end up being unalive. So you say to yourself like this, how many statistics and how many percentage of serial people? So what about the gentleman who decided to take a gun and want to make an attempt to assassinate Trump? Okay, does he have a record? And I bet you believe he does. But probably those records were minor charges that they turn around and dismiss because of the color of his skin. You ask a young man that went to Buffalo and started shooting innocent people because he wanted to make it as a sketch on his on a video game. You ask about the young man that went and shot up everybody in Texas because he got tired of people making fun of him. And what color was his skin? And now they turn around and want to penalize his father because his father was the one that told him to go ahead and do it. You ask how many children or how many Caucasians are a victim of the ones that's causing the gun violence. So check your statistics. And I want to know if once they were incarcerated, are they able enough to vote? And if they're able enough to vote, then our people should be able enough to vote too if they have a felony. I mean, check that out. Some of y'all in the left wing, especially this one over here, because he looks like he's crazy. And the sad part about it is he's influencing younger generation. Those are the ones that you have to be careful of. If you see a single man where he doesn't have a companion or a family, and he's sitting there talking to young children in all ages that's college, educated, and about to proceed and pursue, they're building up a cult. This is what you want to talk. Remember, Christianities were ruling the government. They were ruling social media, not before social media, television, all of that stuff. They were coming on every network until they started losing the battle. Because you know why? allegations started coming against them. They were playing with prostitutes, little kids, all kind of stuff. Yes. And then meanwhile, they shut it down. They were the ones that were censoring things on TV. Especially those black caucuses that come with that come with the Afro something and talk about they power to the people. They ain't power to nobody. Those were the biggest hypocrites ever. Okay? Because some scandal went on to them, that's when they turned around and lost their empire. And that's the same thing with these cults. I remember when they had a cult activist in Texas, where he had a whole flock of people, and he was traveling with rifles. Okay? Waco. And preaching to the people them and taking the Bible every 5 minutes. Isn't it something ironic during the slave time when they tell them, thou shalt respect thy master? You know, meanwhile, the master's beating them and raping them, you know? You know what I'm saying? And they're tied in the storehouses to make sure that that cotton was piled up into that sackcloth, you know, in that crocus bag. You know, no, really. Sometimes some of y'all, and this is very crazy because I be talking to my kids, and sometimes my kids, and I'm like, nah, y'all need to stop listening to those cults. And let me tell you the real deal. Okay? That's why sometimes it's good to listen to your elders. And some of you young kids need to start listening to your parents. Because your parents been there to that experience. Remember, we was the ones that started the hippie. We're the ones who started the rebellion. And we was rebellion for a cause. Okay, that's the difference. We're not going to rebel and make false allegations about people. This is the new generation. That's why the kids, if you look at it, I don't see y'all talking to the kids and told them, like, why you guys are losing your innocence? Why you guys are every minute turning around and doing violence? I don't even see you trying to do the infrastructure with teenagers. I remember my first job was 13 years old. You ask some of them, are you working part-time or doing something? They say no. They just feel lost because you guys are neglecting the duties of the children, including their parents. You know, some of you, half of them was mostly getting into trouble because they don't have nothing constructional to do. They see their parents crying every day because they can't pay their bills. And they're pretty much getting beaten up in school because they don't have the certain type of attire. I remember kids used to look forward every day after school, you know, working, doing summer programs, being interactive. I don't see none of that that's happening. I don't see none of you people in the Midwest trying to do that. That is the reason why there is a high crime. Because you're neglecting the duties of the younger youth. You have one person talking about, oh, when they reach 18, 21, they're stupid. No, it's because you're not educating them. You don't have a child, so you don't know who's stupid or not. You probably raise your nieces or nephew, but that doesn't mean anything. Okay? That's far different than raising your own child. Okay? No disrespect if she can have children. But my thing is, you're telling the youth to hate one another. You're telling the youth to hate black people. You're telling the youth to hate foreigners. Okay? You're putting negativity in the society. Instead of you trying, and you talk about your Christians, that is not the Christian way to do it. That's not the godly way to do it. Putting your influence and your authority to things when you're not the authoritator is not the Christian way to do it. Telling a woman what she should do to her body after somebody violated her is not the right thing to do. I don't even see you guys protecting the females. You're sitting there trash talking and beating up another female because she made a mistake of somebody's ethnicity. No, it's not the right thing to do. And you guys are teaching the wrong type of way. That is the reason why we have so much violence and hatred in this world. Then you wonder why, how certain blacks want to stay away from y'all and want to be woke to be protected.
It means little human being.
No, it fucking doesn't, and even if it did, it has no bearing on what we use that word for today. The word gun originates in part from the Old Norse word that stands for battle. That does not mean anyone carrying a gun should now be legislated by the Geneva Convention because they're now engaging in a battle. He's stupid. You want to know what's even more stupid? The fucking death penalty. This Marcellus Williams case is even more dumb, draconian, and barbaric than people are even giving it credit for. For those of you who don't know, Marcellus Williams was accused and convicted of murdering Felicia Gale in 2001. It was claimed that Williams broke in and then stabbed stabbed her 43 times. The issue is now a law was passed in Missouri in 2021 that allows prosecuting attorneys to file a motion to vacate a conviction if they believe the inmate could have been innocent. Remember, prosecutors are the ones who got Marcellus to be convicted. That's their whole thing. So why do prosecutors now believe there could have been a fuck up back in the day when the conviction happened? Well, that's because Marcellus Williams was set to be executed in 2017, but the governor at the time in Missouri was like, nah, we gotta investigate this new DNA evidence that cropped up in the meantime. Because, oh yeah, test results based on DNA testing of the murder weapon that were not available at the time of his conviction revealed that his DNA was not on the knife used in the murder, and people believed that that could exonerate him, although other people were saying, oh, maybe there was some contamination or something. Regardless, if there's a chance that he could have not done it based on DNA evidence, why in the fuck are we still talking about executing him? Oh, but it gets worse. The other governor didn't just say, oh, well, he can go free because the DNA evidence. No, he put together a board of inquiry to examine the case and determine the validity of that DNA evidence. But the new governor got elected and fucking dissolved the board of inquiry in 2023 before it could reach any conclusion. If we don't have a conclusion on whether or not the DNA evidence was actually contaminated, why are we still talking about executing him? So we have prosecutors saying the other prosecutors might have fucked up here. We have Williams' lawyers even saying that they'd accept an Alford plea, basically saying, yeah, y'all have enough evidence to obtain a guilty verdict, but let's keep looking at this so that he doesn't have to get executed. We have the members of Felicia Gale's family signing a clemency petition to the current governor saying, oh, let him serve life without parole, but don't let him get executed because there could have been a mistake. Members of the jury have come out and said we might have ruled differently on this had we known what we do now. We have the former prosecutor on the original case saying that he struck a juror from the jury because he was a young black man with glasses and he thought they looked like brothers, which is fucking illegal and unconstitutional. In fact, it gets worse. They struck 6 of 7 potential black jurors, and he was convicted by a jury of 11 white people and 1 black person. Also, mind you, no forensic evidence has tied Williams to the crime. Now, if you studied anything about law, you know how unreliable DNA evidence can be, especially if it's mishandled. But you want to know what's even more fucking unreliable? Eyewitness testimony. So why are we going to execute somebody off one, but question the validity in the other hand? Hence why the death penalty is fucking stupid. They're about to make a permanent decision that they can never take back in 2 days, and this is the evidence we're using. But what about the really bad people? It must provide the family with closure. This family has a member who was stabbed a multitude of times and still said that bro should not get the death penalty. I'm not even gonna put the studies that talk about whether or not it actually affects closure for families. Go look it up and tell me what it says. The Missouri Supreme Court is hearing arguments about all of this shit tomorrow, one day before he's set to be executed. And even if it does not go his way, the governor, Mike Parson, can, with the stroke of a pen, stop him from being executed and at the minimum keep him in prison until we get this constitutional violation settled and this evidence settled. Any failure to do so is a miscarriage of justice in the highest degree. It's irrational, and it shows you exactly what the fuck Mike Parson believes about black people in general. We'll be watching.
So the Supreme Court denied Marcellus Williams clemency, which means that tomorrow evening, Marcellus Khalifa Williams, an innocent man that has been proven innocent, will be executed. This is what the court said as to why they're denying his clemency. It said, despite nearly a quarter century of litigation, both state and federal courts, there's no credible evidence of actual innocence or any showing of a constitutional error undermining confidence in the original judgment.
So this is all I got from this video. I brought all this together because, these people have really been, I don't know how to say it, but they've really been looking to hear from us or to know what we are going to say. Now, Charlie Kirk is used to debating kids. I call them kids because most of them are not older than 21, 22, right? So why debate younger ones? Why not look for people that are beyond that, or look for people at your age, or at least let us know instead of going to colleges, right? To just tell them that you have a debate. And because I listened to those girls that went on the debate, they said that they didn't tell them who was going to, they were debating with. All of a sudden, Charlie Kirk appeared. Charlie Kirk, right, appeared, right? Now, enough of that. You all already know what is happening with Marcellus, all right? They said that all we do is go to prison, that all we do is do commit crime and all that. At least the world is seeing what is going on. That Marcellus, right, had nothing to do with whatever happened. Even the DNA has proven that he got no connection with whatever happened. Why is he still being held? Why is he still in prison? Why is it that by today, tomorrow on 24th, right? We don't know what is going to be the outcome of the whole thing going on. But I see a lot of you reposting videos talking about it. Shout out to all Black people. You all are super awesome. Thank you all so much for coming out, not just to want to en masse to talk about what is going on. And now let's continue. Right? They are always they are so good at coming out, stereotype us. They are so good at coming out to look down on us because they feel like we are not the same. They feel like we do not hold the same political power, right? I absolutely understand some certain things. We probably do not hold the political power. You all are the ones with the power. But trust me, very sooner than later, at least we definitely will understand. I love the fact that Black people are also waking up. And one thing I'm going to say is that we will never stop being woke, because to be woke is to not live, because when you are living, you are as good as not being alive, right? So all I can say is that let's continue to be woke, right? And now, like I keep telling us, I love the fact that Black people are doing amazingly great for themselves, irrespective of whatever has happened and still happening, the system that still needs to be dismantled and all that. We are still progressing. But one thing I am still going to tell us is that let us not forget that there is no limit to what we can do. Why am I saying this? Because I keep hearing things like there are some places we are not good at. We are not good with managerial skills. We are only built for labor. We cannot be managers. We cannot have upper hand when it comes to politics. These are the things they keep saying, right? So I understand some people are not interested when it comes to politics, but there is no limit to what we can do. We are not only built to be athletes. We are not only built to be artists, musicians, and all that. We can dominate all round, from entrepreneurship to the rest of it. And that is just the plan. Have our own media, because having our own media will help us also to spread some news across, right? Because waiting for them to help us is like waiting for, the second coming of whoever that is never ever coming, right? So what are we supposed to do? Continue to push what we can push so far. It is very sad that people are always very quick to call us names or tell us what they feel about, or it's okay to feel whatever, but we know who we are, right? And we are going to keep doing what we can as human beings to make sure that we save ourselves, because the way it is looking, nobody will save you if you do not save yourself. Nobody can speak for you if you do not speak for yourself. You have allies. There is nothing like allyship when it comes to Black people. You do not have any allies. So forget about that and keep working for what you are working, right? For those that keep saying, okay, like you all already see what is going on. Project 2024-25 is a thing. For those that want to understand, I hope you understand it. For those that do not understand, I hope you look for somebody that will explain it for you, because I cannot keep or continue to explain this every day. Make sure you look for somebody to educate you, or you educate yourself. Don't come online to say whatever you want. And I hope, see, one thing I have found out is that you see those people, the Black people that are also anti-Black. I am not talking about it. Black people that are also anti-Black. I do not see them talking about what is going on with Marcellus, what is happening to him. That it's to tell you how mean some people could be. And I keep saying this, there is nothing as what as friendly enemy. or household enemy. They are the worst enemy to have, because what is happening to you is right in front of you or within you. It is not coming from outside. And I am really hoping that with everything that Black people have done and all of that, especially when it comes to this young man's case, I hope there will be better result. And for the people that wake up every day to gaslight themselves, people like Charlie Kirk, I really hope. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.